Hello everyone, Frost here. Welcome back to a new classic WoW video. This is the third episode from the Vanilla Profession Overview series. In our previous episode we covered the gathering skills and then the armor and weapon crafting professions. Now we had to cover the last three primary professions. Unfortunately there was just too much information to go over, and instead of making a 40-minute long video, we split the third episode into 3 parts. Today we're looking into alchemy. Without further ado, let's explore. Alchemists use herbs to create strange magical brews that heal, empower, and produce a variety of positive effects. Invisibility, elemental resistance, mana restoration, and much more. They can also transmute mystic materials into rare and exotic new forms. With their power to create valuable consumables, alchemists are highly useful to groups and raids. By creating rare materials, alchemists can make a great deal of money, enable the creation of powerful weapons and armor, and even influence the economy of Azeroth. Most alchemical brews can be created anywhere as long as you have the appropriate reagents. Supplies that you can buy from vendors, trade for with other players, or find in the wild. Alchemy is often paired with the gathering profession herbalism, since herbs found in the wilderness are required to cook the majority of alchemical mixtures. Now, compared to other crafting professions, the goods you sell from alchemy are for the most part consumables, so your customers will keep coming back for more. Also, there isn't anything that requires farming ridiculous amounts of rare materials. Even the high-level recipes requires only few herbs per potion. Although, like other crafting professions, some of the recipes are quite difficult to acquire or just time-consuming. These recipes will become your top money makers. Now that we partially covered alchemy, let's discuss about some recipes that will make you gold and get a bit in detail. Early game, brews like Free Action Potion, Arcane Elixir, Frost Oil and Swiftness Potion can make you a decent amount of cash. Arcane Elixir, it's learned by the trainer. Free Auction Potion can be purchased from the alchemy supplies vendor, from Orgrimmar and Ironforge. Frost Oil from Brooklyn and Alterac Mountains. And Swiftness Potion, it's a very rare wall drop recipe, usually dropping from mobs with level between 14 and 20. Keep an eye out on the auction house for it, because this is a really important one. Health and mana potions will be the most consistent niche market for the whole iteration of vanilla, with prices for major mana potions skyrocketing when new content is released. Get your major health potion recipe from Eevee Whirlbrew and Everlook. The major mana potion recipe on the other hand can drop from Darkmaster Gandling and Scholomance at a very low drop rate, but it can also be purchased after completing the chain quest DTK the Butcher, which will end in killing Kirtonos the Herald in Scholomance. This chain will reward you with Spectral Essence, a trinket that will allow you to see Magnus Frostwake outside Scholomance at the abandoned blacksmith. He sells the recipe for major mana pot and transmute water to air. Elixir of Shadow Power has a very good market value, as this will be used by warlocks and shadow priests. Also, you need 10 of them for the Dreadsteed Warlock Epic Mount quest. The recipe can be purchased from Maria and Stormwind or from Algarnoon in Undercity. This recipe will be pretty camped, so try early in the morning. One of the reasons this elixir will always sell is because the ghost mushrooms used in creating it are more rare than other herbs, creating a different demand. A higher concentration of ghost mushrooms can be found in Maraudon. If your class is capable of doing solo runs in this dungeon, your fortune will change. Elixir of Brute Force. This recipe is quite a pain to get. The only place you can get it is from turning in Blood Petal sprouts in Angoro Crater. For every 15 sprouts you turn in, you can get a brown wrapped package, and there's a very slim chance that you will get this recipe. The only other way to obtain it would be on the auction house for either a large amount of gold, or a small amount if someone didn't realize what they had. This elixir is great for fights where stamina is required, such as resistance fights, and brute force is also best in slot for tanks since the stamina stacks with the fortitude buff. There will be demand for this on the market, and because this recipe is so rare, you can boost the prices. Restorative Potions, another good sell on the market. People will buy it when progressing into Molten Core and even after progression because guilds tend to do speedruns, and they don't want to sacrifice mana for the cursing. A great market up to Ankiraj, when the elemental earth required for this potion will be put to better use. In order to get this recipe, you have to complete a quest in Badlands that is available only to alchemists. Badlands Reagent Run 2, and at the end, as a reward, you'll learn how to make this potion. Greater Fire Protection Potion. These will sell like candy whenever the raid times start, because some guilds require to always carry them with you. Some will reward extra DKP, and they're used for progression in Molten Core and Onyxia. Same rules will apply for speedruns. You get this recipe in Lower Blackrock Spire, from the Firebrand Invoker, or from the auction house if it has a decent price. Now, whenever the price of elemental fire goes too high, make sure you get the Fire Protection Potion recipe from Jida in Stone Talon Mountains or Nandar Branson in Hillsbrad Foothills. These potions do not require elemental fire, but small flame sacks which are easy to grind for, and you can make lots of gold. Check my gold farm guide for low levels if you want more information. Greater Nature Protection Potion for when Ankiraj gates will open. Farm this recipe in the eastern side of Western Plaguelands. It drops from the Decaying Horrors and Rotting Behemoths. Make sure to kill everything in the cave, as the slimes have a chance to drop the Oozing Bag, which has a chance to drop the Disgusting Oozeling, a rare and very cool pet. As we said with the Fire Protection Potions, make sure to get the Normal Nature Protection Potion, because when the Elemental Earth price will go up, a market will open for Normal Nature pots, since they require Life Root and Strangle Cap to make. The Flask recipes. Flask of Supreme Power, get this from Rasfrost Whisper and Schoolomance. Flask of the Titans from General Drakisat in Upper Blackrock Spire. And Flask of Distilled Wisdom from Balnazar in Stratholme Scarlet Side. Try getting your hands on these recipes early as possible, because these items will make you gold for the whole iteration of vanilla. Distilled Wisdom and Supreme Power are easier to grind for, because they drop from 5-man popular dungeons, where Strat Scarlet is often run for the Righteous Orbs, and Schoolomance is run for the Alchemy Lab, where you're allowed to craft the flasks. The Flask of Titans, on the other hand, drops from a 10-man dungeon, and not only that you'll have to roll against randoms, but it has a lower drop chance as well. Be prepared to drop 1000 plus golds for this recipe, or pray to the RNG gods. A couple of more recipe to grind or purchase. Greater Arcane Elixir, most commonly dropped in Western Plaguelands and Eastern Plaguelands. Elixir of Mungus, dropped by the Satyrs in Ajara and Felwood. Elixir of Giants, drops from the Angerclaw Grizzly in Felwood. Elixir of Sages, drops from Tyr's Hand in Eastern Plaguelands, mostly from the caster elites. Limited Invulnerability Potion, drops from random level 45 to 50 mobs, most common from the Hinterlands. It appears to have a higher drop chance from the Trolls. Living Action Potions, required to have Exalted with the Zandalar tribe, a really overpowered potion right here. And Invisibility Potion drops with a higher chance in Zul'Farrak, Sunken Temple and Maraudon. And finally, Alchemy allows you to transmute some materials into higher value items that can be further used in creating weapons, armors, rods and so on. Transmute Arcanite, it's one of the most popular. Get this recipe from Alchemist Pestilzug in Tanaris. Purchase an Arcane Crystal and get ready to make 10 to 15 gold profit out of thin air every 2 days. Now, sometimes the Arcanite market might not work to its finest, and your profits would take a hit. Make sure to look into Transmute Undead to Water, a recipe that is a world drop, most commonly dropped from the Undeads in Schoolomance and Stratholme. Sometimes the prices of elemental water can go very high, 10 golds maybe, and since the cooldown is 24 hours opposed to the 48 hours from Arcanite, this might yield more gold. Also look into Transmute Elemental Fire, a recipe that can be acquired from Thorium Brotherhood, which transmutes 1 Heart of Fire into 3 Elemental Fire. Early game the demand for Elemental Fire will be higher than the grinding spots can uphold, and the price could skyrocket, making this very viable on a 10-minute cooldown. Now keep in mind that this was added in patch 1.9, but I get a feeling that this will be available in Classic WoW from day 1. Not sure about the implications this will have over the major economy, but still keep an eye out for this. Overall, alchemy is a great profession to have. Pair it with herbalism to get the most of it. It can help you create potions and buffs to aid you on your leveling journey, making your life smoother. It also has high compatibility with fishing, allowing you to make a variety of fine oils that can be further used on creating powerful brews, thus opening more doors into gold making. Alchemy is considered the best profession in terms of getting rich, although some people would disagree because sometimes the potions and elixirs will sell on the auction house cheaper than the herbs it requires to make them. In my opinion, alchemy is still the best moneymaker, but just like other profession, you'll have to do the recipe grind because selling the same basic recipes like everyone else won't make you any money. Also, alchemy requires to have some sort of knowledge in economy or at least being smart and know basic mathematics. Like we said in our previous episode with the armor crafting professions, choose this skill if you have the time and dedication to commit, otherwise pick and gathering skills might be a better choice for a casual gameplay. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like and a comment down below. For more information about where you can acquire all the alchemy recipes in vanilla, make sure to check my Discord under the World of Warcraft tab. An invite can be found in the description of this video. Until next time, stay frosty.